Hello, this is Kara from Kara Tarot with a general reading for Sunday, December 21st, 2025. For this week, leading up to Christmas, I'm going to be and beyond, this full week, I'm going to be using the Holy Card Tarot. I just mentioned this in a couple Christmas VRs, so if you've been seeing any of the VRs that I did, you'll probably be seeing this. The Cozy Christmas deck tag is one where I mentioned it, and I know I mentioned it on another one. So I am doing a spread today that I have just kind of made up for this Christmas, and if I get my act together, I will do a little template for it, so you can screenshot that, and I will also put it on my Instagram separately. And it's pretty easy. It's going to be topic, body, mind, emotions, spirit, and action. And I'm also going to be using an oracle card from Mary, Queen of Angels. I've already shuffled and cut the deck, so we're ready to go. So topic. It's going to be a little tight. Topic, body, mind, emotions, spirit, and action. So our topic today, the 10 of Swords. Yesterday I got death, and today the 10 of Swords. I'm getting the message. Tough times ahead. The Holy Card Tarot references specific things with the cards, and I'm going to be including some of this. The 10 of Swords, of course, is a time of great misfortune. This is specifically about when St. Denis and St. Redemptus, Carmelite brothers, went to Sumatra seeking conversions. They were taken out to the beach and brutally murdered. The upshot is that wisdom and peace may come through suffering, but it is a sword of suffering. And this card actually says something that I think this guidebook says something significant to today, I think very relevant. Scapegoated victims are physically attacked. Victims, unsuspecting, are met with overwhelming odds in a life-shattering, cutthroat manner. Firing, desertion, abandonment, betrayal, resistance is futile. I would add kidnapping to that. So this is obviously very relevant. This is the topic for today, dark topic, but very relevant to what we're going through today. The body, the physical idea, and we're still swords. We're still in the ideas and communication. This is, of course, represents the birth of Christ. I love that there's a snowy Christmas tree here, which is very Eurocentric, birth of Christ here. But it is typical for holy cards. Anyway, this is about the Ace of Swords bursting forth suddenly, lighting up the whole sky. Go after your future, triumph through the force of your speech. Your strategy may appear to you out of thin air. So the body is saying, go forth. In spite of this, go forth, be strong. Mental, body, mind, judgment. Know with this deck that I am intentionally incorporating things that are in the guidebook from this deck. I'm not, at least today, I'm not just reading with my own knowledge and my own interpretation. A life-changing decision, A surprise, perhaps a voice from the past, which would fit with the position of this card in the past. This guidebook includes Pluto, the lord of the underworld, announces his final judgment. Osiris, with Maat, weighs the hearts of the dead and decides who may enter the land to the west. We are reminded to honor the dead and follow the call. Again, we are being given a call. This is saying the springing forth of a call to action in regards to this. This is saying honor your ancestors, honor your different faith traditions by rising up. Literally, the judgment, rising up. Your emotions. Well, that's wonderful. The Ace of Pentacles, very thoughtful Ace of Pentacles, looking either here or down to the action. We'll see. Ace of Pentacles, of course, is another springboard to action. This time it's more material, but also long range. Remember, the Pentacles are always more long range thinkers. This Pentacle here, of course, is the Eucharist. Blessings of the material world, ownership of possessions, the abundance of worldly goods, affluence, money, wealth, inception, security become manifest. It sends intent and will into being. As in the consecration, the material world becomes transformed and divine. To receive its gift is a blessing. In its way, this is again another call to action where we are now really having this total call to action. This one is more about the material becoming divine. These are about kind of making it become so, enacting judgment, acting on your force of will, acting even against all of the injustice. Spirit. The Seven of Cups is usually about being a little distracted, but it looks here to be much more about your highest calling. Dazzled by the splendor and wealth of the material world, the trappings of status, we can fall victim to escapism. We must ask ourselves, what has value to the soul? There is confusion about the nature of reality, which can lead to false steps. We are seeing an intentional perversion of reality, truth, science. We are seeing an intentional subversion of these things. This is Saint Francis depicted in religious ecstasy. Ultimately, the repression of his physical life in favor of his strict adherence to self-denial caused him to lose control of his order, and he suffered depression. So perhaps his self-denial, was a form of false status. His was, we know, it was an extreme self-denial. So that's not, most of us are not guilty of that. Let's just lay it out there. Most of us, however much we deny ourselves, are not guilty of extreme self-denial. So probably not a problem for us. But the ability to be misled, the spirit of treachery in the air, which can affect us spiritually. We must remain constantly with our eyes on the light, on our highest leading. And finally, action. The Four of Cups. Another meditative card. This is a depiction of Saint Cecilia being skeptical about the heavenly gifts being offered to her. This is very typical of saints. When Teresa of Avila was given her visions, she was told by the leadership to try to ignore them. And this is one of the inherent issues with people today seeking mysticism, because traditionally all of the great mystics were within the church system, and they were invariably told, they have to guard against this being not the work of God, and so they have to try to ignore it. Only through submission to that were they proven to be true visions. So the whole concept of seeking out mystical experiences then becomes a catch-22, because it's things are tested by trying to ignore them and trying to push them away, at least. And Saint Cecilia, the same thing. She's skeptical. And so then the question with this card is, are you ignoring the obvious when something good is coming your way? Are you being too skeptical? Are you ignoring it? So with all of these other messages, which are very clear about